course.
Perfect. Well, so tonight we have a lot of really great patterns, and I think we're really excited to kick things off with one of the first ones. So, Tamara, why don't I pass things over to you?
Alrighty. Well, of course, I need to grab it here, and it's the one thing that fell off my chair. Here we are. I wanted to kick things off with the Caron baby cakes because how gorgeous is this blanket? We don't even have to talk about the yarn yet. First, let's talk about the pattern. How beautiful is this? Isn't that
Nice.
stunning? Absolutely gorgeous. And it's made with those Caron baby cakes. So now you've gotten a preview of what it can do. Check out that yarn. That is the multicolored that's used. And actually for this blanket, it looks like they use this one and then they use a couple of solids. And how fantastic is it that this yarn has both stripes and solids? That's like one of my favorite things, right? Because when you make something, you want to have choices and stripes are fun, but sometimes stripes don't work for every section. And you can really see if you look at this blanket exactly how well that works out. They've got the gray and the white doing the mosaic. You've got the stripes for the stripes, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So this yarn right here, let me hold that up again so you get a good look at it. This is an 82% acrylic, 18% nylon. And what that does is that nylon makes it extra strong, durable, and extra elastic, which is really what you want for baby projects, right? Anything you make for kids, it's going to get carried outside. It's going to get turned into a fort. It's going to be laid on the floor. It's going to be rolled around with. It's going to get really dirty. So having, a really easy care washable yarn for baby projects is ideal. And the other thing I want to point out about this yarn is look at the size of this cake. This is a worsted weight yarn and it has, let me get the exact number here, 560 yards of yarn. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? I mean, you could get probably most of a baby blanket out of just one cake if you wanted to, maybe the small lovey kind that they carry around everywhere, dragging it outside into the car. But yeah, this is just absolutely gorgeous stuff. And it is really, really soft. It feels so good in the hand. There are 14 colorways of it total, 8 solid and 6 stripes. And so you can definitely mix and match those to your heart content and make all sorts of projects. It's completely non-allergenic and it is certified for use to be safe with babies. So there is another look at it. What do you guys think?
I love this yarn. I mean, we brought it back. It is one that people have loved in the past, but in really cool colors. And like you were mentioning, I've got another baby cakes project here, but the whole idea of having the solids that work really well with the self-striping yarn is really exciting. I have here, this is the white shade, which is kind of a creamy white, as you can see. And this one here is called Petals. So really pretty pink and purple hues. And the blanket that I've got, I want kind of like a full size version of it. I don't know if you can, how well you can see here, but it's a crochet moss stitch.
So that's stunning.
I mean, we love moss stitch, which I'll explain a bit later. A lot of the patterns I have today have a crochet moss stitch, but with each row, it looks really complicated, kind of like a woven effect, but you're working with a solid in one row, and then on the alternate row, you're working with the self-striping, and you're just carrying that solid along underneath the stitch. And it's just SC and chain 1 spaces, and then like a SC border all the way around. So it looks really complicated. And I think the way the blocks of color worked out here, it looks really intense, but not that crazy to make.
That's awesome. It really sounds like the yarn cakes kind of do all the work with the self-striping there, even mixing the two together. I love that. It's so pretty. I did see a question pop up about this one. Someone asked if it was a chenille, and it's not a chenille. I'm going to try and hold this up a little bit more so you can see that texture. It is pretty much applied worsted yarn. So, the most typical yarn you're probably used to, but not a chenille. So yeah, that's a little bit about Caron baby cakes.
Awesome. And how many colors does that come in again?
That was 14, 8 solid and 6 stripes. So this is the retro stripe, which I believe is the same one used in this blanket. But there are definitely some more bold ones. There's one that's sort of gray and yellow and red. That one's got a really neat look. I loved the pink one, the pinky purpley one that Seema was just holding up too. And then in solids, it looks like there's a mint, a pink, sort of a yellow. Everybody's loving yellow right now, right? And then of course you've got a gray and this creamy white, which everybody loves for neutrals. So yeah, you can do a lot of fun things with these colors.
Yeah, I think Carolyn, do you have a blanket with baby cakes?
I do. Thank you. This one is called Tiles for Miles. Pull that up.
Ooh.
It's really, really pretty. And it's made with 2 skeins of baby cakes. And this one is called Candy Hearts.
Nice.
Yeah, it's got pink, purple, mint, and yellow. And they're like a pastel color.
It kind of reminds me of marshmallows.
Mm.
It's so pretty.
Yeah,
And
that
then
looks perfect for Easter too, I have to say. You know, it's just so springy.
And then it's also got the white.
Mm.
So it's alternating 1 row of the color and then 1 row of the white. And what I like about this blanket is you do a row across on the right side facing, and then you start again with the right side facing, and you do the row in the solid color. And then you turn, and then you do 2 rows back this way, and then you turn and go back the other way. So it makes it so pretty. So it's a double crochet and then a single crochet row.
So pretty.
I just love it.
Yeah.
There's like always something new. The funny thing is, yes, this was done by one of the design team members, but I've never tried crochet like that, where you've got to, like, you work 2 rows one way and then 2 rows back. Like, there's always something kind of cool.
Oh yeah. That's one of my favorite color work techniques, honestly. It's such a great way to do one stripe, you know, in each color, without having to cut all those ends, right?
Yeah. I saw someone asking about the needle size. So we recommend a US 8 5mm for baby cakes, and a 5mm hook as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, what was I going to say? The one thing I wanted to point out, I know that this blanket is going to have a class March 2nd. Let me hold this one up again. This is the geometric baby blanket. And this one will have a class right here on Michael's on March 2nd. Did you guys, this classes or projects have classes coming up? Do you know?
This one, the mini moss stitch baby blanket, it has a class on April 1st.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I think Allie's been popping the pattern links in the chat for everyone, because I know everyone's excited to see what the patterns are and the yarn quantities and all of that.
Yes. And there was a question here. So while all 3 of these baby blankets are crochet, we do have some great knit baby blankets using baby cakes on yarnspirations.com. So check out that link that I'll be dropping in the chat.
Awesome. Okay. Well, should we move on to the second one, Caron cotton cakes?
Yeah.
Because there's just so many cool things. I know, it's like, I don't know what to talk about because there's so many things. I have a few of them over here. Let me move the baby cakes off the table here. These great big cakes take up the whole table in front of me. So let's see here. Now we've got the Caron cotton cakes. Yes, let's see. I have 3 of the shades. I've got this sort of gray one, I've got this mint one, and I've got this yellow one that I'm sure all have actual names. This one's called Sunflowers, High Tide, and Grayscale. And these are a lot of fun. I love these. This is a cotton acrylic blend. Let me hold that up for you again there so you can get a little peek at just the texture there. It just feels so great. And cotton acrylic is one of my favorite blends, far and away. It's got that great feel of cotton where it just feels kind of cool and natural and soft to the hand. But the acrylic makes it so much easier care and so much longer lasting and wearable for everything from garments to blankets. So I'm really excited about this one, I've got to tell you right now. This one comes in 8 different striping tones. So you got 2 of them right there. And they all kind of coordinate with each other. I feel like, of course, we've got sort of our Pantone colors of the year there. anything can go with a gray, of course, right there. And there's some gray tones in a lot of the other stripes as well. They coordinate with each other, and they also coordinate with the angel cakes, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit. But what I've got made out of this is this beautiful sweater right here. This is the Beginner Basic Summer Top, and it is a knit. And I don't think this one would fit me, or I would have tried to squeeze into it because it's so pretty. I'm going to try and hold that up so you guys can see those knit stitches. I am a beginner knitter, we'll say, and I would love to learn how to make these stitches. It looks so pretty. It looks like it's actually a relatively simple stitch pattern, but again, I'm not primarily a knitter, so I'm easily impressed. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. These are, I want to double check, these are a worsted 4 weight as well. They are, like I said, 60% cotton, 40% acrylic, and they recommend a 4.5 millimeter knitting needle or a 5 millimeter crochet hook. So that's another look at that. And then I'll let you guys, if you want to show off your projects you've got in it.
Yeah, Carolyn, why don't you go first? Because I've got
All right. So I have this really, really cute, fashionable bag. It's called Crochet Fringed Bag. And this is just a sneak peek, you guys. It's not even up yet on the website. So you guys are getting a really, really great look at a bag coming in the future. And there is a class that's going to be on the Michael's Zoom call as well. And I can't, when is that going to be, Allie? Is that like March or April?
April 13th.
Okay, April 13th. So this is really cute. It's got the fringe on the front. And then on the back, it's just a solid. And the handles, there's 2 handles that attach up here on the top. Super, super cute. And this yarn is called Green Grapevine. So it's got several different colors of green, teal, mint. It's just really, really pretty. I hope you can see that.
Very nice.
Awesome.
And it only takes 1 skein, I believe. Yeah, one skein will make this entire purse. So
Yeah, that's one thing I forgot to mention, 530 yards per skein for this one. So another big one.
yeah, it is. So yeah.
One thing I wanted to mention, like as everyone can see, so cotton cakes last summer and before that, I know people love it. The tones for this collection, they coordinate with a new yarn that we've got that I will talk about in a moment. But everything that you're seeing today has sort of our theme as soft summer stripes. So it gives you the flexibility of following self-striping yarn and just letting it your projects run as is, or coordinating solids so that you can create, you know, whatever look you want. Or if you just want solids or color block effects, you can do that as well. The dye effect on this is pretty cool. It's got a mottled sort of effect. It's mimics sort of like a hand dyed sort of tone. So it's not just like a solid matte color. There's like a lot more interest to your stitches. So even if you're doing simple projects, you don't have to feel like, if you're a beginner or a newer crocheter or knitter, your projects will still look great. Like the yarn is doing a lot of work to, you know, make that project sing. But what I was really excited to share that pairs with cotton cakes is cotton angel cakes. And these are solid, but they've got that mottled effect that we were talking about. I'll see if the camera will focus there. Yeah. It is also a giant cake size, so 530 yards, needle size US 7, 4.5 millimeter, and then a US H/8 5 millimeter crochet hook. And we have tons of patterns for all of these as well. And another exciting thing is that if you have worked with cotton cakes in the past and you have, I know that I've seen a few people have their favorite shawl pattern. I was wearing a shawl, but it's fallen off. But like this was a cotton cakes shawl from last summer, but imagine this worked up in either, you know, this kind of striping hue or in a solid, and it has a totally different look now. So this one I'm really, I'm kind of pumped about all of them, but this in particular, very excited about. And I've got a project that I'll show off that features both of these here. So this is, oh, I'm holding it upside down. Let's see here. It's an asymmetrical wrap that mixes both the solid cotton angel cakes starting at the bottom here with the striped cotton cakes. And there are sections that this color appears again. So the color names, if you're looking for them, are Coral Rose for this like peachy, yeah, I'd say peachy kind of hue. And let's double check, Frozen Yogurt. So hopefully you're not hungry. I miss froyo. And what's cool about this is again a moss stitch pattern. So that's kind of a different effect.
Very cool. The Caron cotton angel cake that I have is called Faded Jeans, and I'd say that's the perfect name for this one. So pretty. And this, I just love this mottled effect. It really does. You mentioned hand dyed. It really does. It has that effect of, you know, a really expensive hand dyed yarn. But you know, with a whopping, how many yards was it? Over 500 yards again, 530 yards. Absolutely amazing. Again, cotton acrylic. Love that. One of my faves. Can't wait. The project, I got to show you these. This is gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. This is the macrame shawl. This is crochet. And I'm hoping I can get it close enough to the camera here, get the right side out. This one has a right side. Check out those stitches. How gorgeous is that? That's one side. Here's the other side. I think they're both beautiful, to be honest.
I think so.
Absolutely lovely. But yeah, this one's probably officially the right side, but I kind of picked the wrong side first because I love them both. Tons and tons of fringe, always, of course, optional. Not everybody loves fringe, but so many of us do. But isn't that gorgeous? And this is made with just this one color, and you can really see that beautiful variation and depth in there. Absolutely beautiful. Just really stunning. And even though it's airy, so it's breathable, I think it'll be quite warm, you know, with this sort of stitching. It's really, really pretty. I just love this one. And this one will have a class March 30th coming up. So look for that there on the Michaels channel too.
That's gorgeous.
All right,
So,
Carolyn.
yeah, so I have over here, I have this beautiful knit sweater, and it's called the Top Down Tee with lace yoke. And again, this is another sneak peek, you guys. This one's not, well, actually, it might be up right now, but it's really a fabulous design. Look at the geometric shapes on there and that beautiful stitching. I'm in love with this one. And I'm not a knitter, I'm beginner, so this is like really, really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good one. We've been seeing yoke sweaters for the last, I mean, they've been around forever, but they're really growing in popularity lately. And that yoke detailing with the lace at the top. And then once you've gotten past that interesting part, you're like smooth sailing with stocking stitch for the body.
That's what I was thinking. I think the yoke is about all the knit lace I could get through. And then, yeah, and then you can just relax for the rest. It's perfect.
And you can really see the color changes here at the bottom of the sweater, how it's just gently changing colors on you. This one is called Heather Angel Cakes, and it's like a pinky lavender color. And you can see how subtle the changes are in that. It's just so pretty.
Absolutely.
So if you're going to make this sweater, I have that it takes between 2 and 4 cakes, depending on the size. And it's from extra small to 5X. So that's super nice.
That is.
It's really soft, you guys.
I know.
I know
actually had to like resist opening the cakes before so that we had them pristine for our chat, because I really wanted to work with some of these now that we've got the final colors. I forgot I had another angel cakes project here. So more colors. This color here is sea salt. So it's a creamy white, but not, it's sort of not super cream, but pretty cream. I don't know how to describe this one. It's both like marshmallowy, I'd say, is what it makes me think of. And another color here is dark cocoa. So you can see all of the tones are very muted. I think what we've really been trying to speak to with this collection is this whole cottage core trend. So it's this aesthetic that if you kind of picture yourself in a farm side area, or you want that like countryside retreat vibe, that's kind of why all these tones, you can kind of start to see that color story happening here. Oh, crochet hook stuck in there because I did break that one for swatching. And I do have a bag here. So this pattern I designed is inspired by Japanese market bags, which are really intricate. They're usually very cool and knotted with like a rectangular piece of fabric. So based on that idea, we crocheted a rectangle starting with the dark cocoa here. Again, moss stitch. And the funny thing is, I think all three patterns using moss stitch were different designers. So we were clearly all feeling that vibe. So this was done as one rectangle, starting here, then turning into stripes where you alternate every other row, and then switching to the sea salts. So after you've finished your rectangle, there are instructions in the pattern about how you fold it. And you have two seams. One, can't even see it. One is here and one on this side here. And that's all it takes to form it. And at the end, we just added an SC little closure just to sort of neaten that top edge. But this one, I just really felt like it was it was really fun to sort of fold. I sketched it out and like cut out a piece of paper to fold it to see how it came together. And it looks a lot more complicated than it is, which is how I feel about a lot of these patterns.
Yeah, that's absolutely gorgeous. I love that. I love anything with like a clever fold or a little twist at the end like that when it just kind of comes together. It's so beautiful. I think it's absolutely fantastic how well all these colors and all these different yarns really do go to that college core aesthetic you were talking about. I have a 19, almost 20-year-old daughter, and yeah, that is the look. So I think for all ages right now, we're all thinking a little bit more about gardening lately and the home and just trying to make our homes as cozy as possible. And all of these yarns are going to be so great for garments, of course, and bags and blankets, but also for all these home projects. It's just such a cozy palette, but it's not overly, it's still fresh. It's still springy. It's still those happy light colors. It's just such a beautiful combination of colors and fibers and textures. Really, really beautiful stuff. You guys did an amazing job picking out the colors for this collection.
Yeah,
I had a question here. Do the colors for cotton cakes and angel cakes, do they really match one for one?
I wouldn't say that they're, well, yes, like the colors have been chosen to coordinate together so that you can, go out and get this coral rose angel cakes and get the frozen yogurt, and these oranges or peachy tones will coordinate. So obviously it won't go with every hue, but there will be like one hue in each cake that kind of relates back to another. So that means it'll be a bit easy for you to mix and match for sure. And there are really good pictures I saw on the michael.com website they have all the cakes shot like this. So if you've got like your browser tabs open and you can kind of see them, pull them up side by side if you can't head out to a store where you are.
So I have an example here also. I headed over to Michael's and I wanted to see that too, because I like it when they coordinate and I would like them to be like matching really well. So I have here, this one is wild blueberry. And this one is cotton cakes. And then this is the angel cakes in the faded jeans. And I really like this combination together.
So it's picking up on that lighter hue in the blueberry one then.
Right.
It's really pretty. These names are making me hungry though.
So I can see this like a hat, if you're going to do like a hat in the stripes and then do some color work with the solid one, maybe do a brim with the solid and then incorporate the stripes and then bring this in throughout across the top or something like that. There's
Mhm.
just so many things you can do.
Mhm.
Yeah, these are so pretty.
Those would be really pretty in Seema's bag too, and give it a really different look.
Yeah, definitely using the striping would totally change it.
Unfortunately, the ones I have in front of me don't seem to coordinate quite as well together. Just didn't happen to end up with the right ones. But if you put the faded blue jeans with the, or faded jeans with the high tide, they're close,
Mhm.
but not quite. I don't have quite as many.
Yeah, I think the I'm just looking at, I think Summer Sage, which is Cotton Angel cake, that one goes well with, I think, the high tide that you've got
Yeah.
there.
Looking at the pictures, absolutely. That one would be really pretty. Pull out the greens a little bit more in that one.
Mhm.
Really lovely. There we are.
And what I also noticed with these yarns to coordinate together, they have the exact same yardage and they're both a number 4 worsted weight. So they're gonna go well together and use up around the same amount of each one.
Absolutely.
So I think that's really good.
I'm just sitting here petting them. It's so, it really does. It feels so good. I too was having like an issue. I was like, well, if I break them open, if I'm like sitting here crocheting them while we're talking, that's good, right? Because I just want to get into them so much. They feel so good. But I know we've got yet another yarn to talk about as well, but it's not me.
So I think it's Carolyn.
Yeah, so we have another one. It's called Cotton Ripple Cakes. And I've got 2 colors here. I have Clay Pot and Clear View. This Clear View is like a minty color. And then the Clay Pot is like a terracotta color. Really, really pretty together. And I have this really beautiful shawl. The shawl is called Amazing Shawl. And it really is. It's so pretty. Check it out.
Oh, wow.
I love how they did the striping in this. Isn't it pretty?
That's
That's fun. That's really fun construction.
It is. And the pattern is available on the website, so you guys can start making it. And it takes 2 balls of the clay pot and 1 ball of the Clear View to make it. And then fringe on the edges if you like. But I just love how these stripes go. So it's mesmerizing, really. It is amazing. It's totally amazing. And the construction is really interesting as well. They have a chart in the pattern so you can. And Seema, can you help me out with that a little bit? Because I did look at how the pattern is constructed, but I'm wondering, as you're starting it, is it already making this design? Or, because I know you have to seam it.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now because I looked at it a while ago, but it had been a little bit. So I'll pull it up and I'll get back to you on it.
Okay, I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
No.
So there are seams in here that are, and I'm not sure I'm even pointing to the right area of the seam, but I think I am.
That's the kind of item where you see somebody wearing it, and you stop them and say, okay, I have to look at that. I'm pulling it off of you. Exactly. I have to take a closer look and figure out how you did that.
Exactly. So let me back up a little bit and get a bigger view of it.
Oh yeah, there's a great diagram in the pattern for anyone who looks up the Crochet Amazing Shawl. Amazing. Just
Perfect.
And it is really, it's really cool. So that it's worked from in one piece from the longest edge. So I guess along the bottom.
Yeah. So I'm thinking this is the bottom, right?
Yeah. And then where it goes up, that's increases and then coming back down.
And then going across and then coming back and then going the other way. Yeah.
So cool.
It is. It really is. This is like sparked my design juices. Like, ooh, it's so out of the box yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
I mean, the possibilities there are amazing.
Yeah. So
it really is right.
Yeah. So that's that.
Awesome. That's gorgeous. The one I have is called Mauve Glow. I tried to read it and be prepared, but then I completely forgot when I saw that shawl because it was so beautiful. But look at this. How pretty is that? That is just, that's spring in a cake right there. So fun, so purpley, so pink, so happy. And I am in love with this bag. This is crochet. I don't know what this stitch is. I am downloading this pattern myself after this because I want to know this stitch pattern. This is so cool, you guys. Check that out. Can
Yeah,
you see that?
it's double crochet spike stitch, but you're working, if I remember correctly, 3 stitches to the right, 2 rows down.
That's
So
stunning.
after the first couple rounds, you sort of visually see, so you don't have to count exactly every time. But
Yeah, it looks like it's worked from the bottom up. So that's always nice. Love that on a bag. And then you've got these nice, great big round handles again, sort of worked in the round. So they feel really sturdy and nice in your hands. You know, they don't have that stringy feel sometimes you get with crochet bags, but it's a great big bag. It's a nice size. You can see here, this one isn't lined, but I know I always get questions about lining bags. You can absolutely line any bag you like. No problem. One of my favorite tips I ever read was to go to your local Goodwill and pick up some pillowcases. You can always slide those inside, sort of got a pre-made bag. But yeah, this is just absolutely stunning. And I don't think this one has a class lined up yet, but I'm really hoping it does because I think this is just a really, really gorgeous bag. And this one, I believe, is I just have Chevron Tote. I don't know if it's got a fuller name, but it is beautiful.
Shifting chevron tote.
Shifting. Okay. But yeah, isn't that, it's just so pretty. I love it. And I love the way the yarn worked up in there too with the stripes, but it's just really soft looking. And you can almost kind of see the texture of the ripple even inside the stitches. It adds just that little bit more motion and movement to it. I don't know if you guys could see that in the cakes we were holding up here, but there really is just sort of a little wiggle to the yarn itself, which is really, really lovely.
Yeah, I wanted to show I had a small swatch of Ripple Cakes knit here. Am I holding it right side? Everything looks a little upside down right now. I'm going to see if it can focus, but you can see even in stocking stitch, the yarn is giving the slubs create just sort of added interest on the yarn. So it's really dimensional, and it does come through with knitting and crochet. Like I find it has a different effect, like what it does to it, and you can see it again here in this other light blue shade called Breezy Blue. Super pretty. And for that bag, Tamara, I think the bottom was worked with 2 strands held together and the strap as well, just to make them extra sturdy, and it'll work up a bit faster. It is a lightweight yarn, so if you like cotton cakes, this is a good, like another one part of the family of the soft summer stripes. But I think if you do double it up, it still gives a really cool effect, as we saw in that bag.
Absolutely. I did see a question pop up. I believe all the ones we talked about so far are a 4 or medium weight, except for the cotton ripple cakes. Is that correct? This one is a 3.
Yes, that's right.
And the rest are a 4. So I saw a little question pop up there in the chat. 3s are great. I'm excited about this one. It's 100% cotton, but I think this is going to be really lovely for garments, summer weight garments. Really nice and light and breathable in that DK weight. So I'm excited about it as well. It's really lovely.
So I was saying I went over to Michael's and I picked up some extras. And here is, what is this one? It's a solid plum fade. So this is like a pinky lavender. And then this is the mauve glow. And they coordinate together. Isn't that pretty?
So pretty.
And you can see how it has a lot of texture to it. Strands. So this pink and color in here in the stripes coordinates with the solid. And then that's also the same for this one. This is the English lavender. And that also coordinates with the clay pot. Looks really pretty together. And then also which one is this? Oh, Clearview. Sorry, the names aren't clear on it. Clearview, it's like that minty color. So this has a greenish mint color and then that clay color in the stripe. So it's really beautiful together and would be really nice to make something out of this as well.
Yeah, the yardage on this is also
Yeah.
great. I can't remember if we mentioned, but it's 491 yards, so it's pretty solid. And I did happen to see someone in the chat mention they could use this for weaving, and I am actually hoping to give that a shot because I feel like it'll create a really nice texture.
Mm.
But it's a case of want to make all the things. I have a garment here made in the yarn, so it's a bit here. I'll show you first. It's a crochet t-shirt and it's got buttons on both sides. You can see a shot worn with the model. It's not my size or I would have worn it for you to see, but on michaels.com and yarnspirations.com. What's really cool about it is you can actually, the texture of the yarn does come through in the stitches, even though it's a really simple pattern, it does add a lot of texture to the fabric. And if you haven't made a crochet garment before, this one's really cool. It's constructed from the two front pieces are identical and the two back pieces are identical. So you start here working on the sleeve and then you increase to create this portion here. There's an edging done after, and then the join is done through buttons, which have just been sewn on. So they're like not functioning buttons that you have to fuss with. Although I can double check because maybe in the pattern we have functional buttons and we've just sewn it on for show here. I'll have to see. But it is, again, like you were saying, really good for summer garments. I'm thinking with the knit, be cool to do like a lacy like part with stocking stitch so you get that slub effect, and then do some sort of drop stitch type thing to create like elongated strands where you can really see it. So we'll see. But there are some other great patterns too that I think are up on yarnspirations.com with this yarn too. It really highlighted it.
Yeah.
And it is machine washable and dryable. I think I would do like a delicate's cold cycle is what I think the symbols represent. So, but it is in like tumble dry low kind of setting.
Awesome. And I believe this one comes, it looks like 7 solids and 6 stripes. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what I've got here too.
Okay, awesome. It's such a great range too. I don't have them with me, unfortunately. I live in Iowa, so we've been having the blizzards for the past week. I haven't really gotten anywhere, so I haven't been to my Michaels, unfortunately. But yeah, it looks like there's kind of like a pink, a darker pink, yellow, green, blue, purple, and then more of a neutral solid. So really a beautiful rainbow of colors in the cotton ripple cakes and those solids. And then all those stripes should coordinate really beautifully. They're so pretty. And I mean, it's just, yeah, absolutely lovely. I love this one. Would you work the cotton ripple cakes? Is there a cotton cake that you would recommend working that with, Seema? Since you've had a little bit more experience with these than I have.
I haven't tried working this with another one just because the gauge is different. I have worked the solid with the striping when I was doing my swatches for pattern writing, but I guess you probably could, but you just have to sort of account for gauge. I could see that like if you did like a summer throw, maybe you could do ripple cakes for like the edging or, you know, the finished like tassel accents, and this could be the body. It'll work a bit faster for you if you're concerned about that. But I'm sure you could, as always, swatch.
Yeah. Well, and I just love the idea of holding them together too. That would add so much texture from the ripple. If you held the ripple together with another one, you know, you could create all kinds of really amazing effects in that yarn. And of course, just use the most delicate of the two washing versions, you know?
Yeah. I'm going to see if I can try to swatch while we have the remaining 20 minutes in here. But you can see like, here's a cotton cakes and here's the ripple cakes. They are really coordinated. So whether you're making garments or shawls or bags or things for your home, they will really work together. So that effort of having to coordinate the colors and find a palette sort of already done to give you that cottagey vibe.
Yeah. And I saw a question pop up. It looked like somebody was asking about patterns on the label. I don't know that the patterns we've been talking about today are on the label, but there are patterns shown on the label. I just want to show this one because this is the Caron cotton cakes. You can see this scarf, this great big scarf, it says is made with just one ball. So that gives you another idea of just how far those cakes will go. And then check out this one. This one's on the cotton ripple cakes. This is a 2-ball shawl. Isn't that gorgeous? So you can get a lot of mileage out of these cakes. And there's just some more examples. Looks like the Cotton Angel Cakes for me has a sleeveless summer vest or top on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, some really, really fun patterns. And then this is another one of those with the scarf. But it's always fun and exciting to get that bonus pattern on the inside of the label. So that's really fun that those are included as well. And then there's so many patterns I know for all the Caron cakes on yarnspirations.com. These will coordinate, of course, with all the patterns that are already there as well, right?
Exactly. It's like Caron baby cakes has a lot of great patterns, and Caron cotton cakes, ripple cakes and angel cakes are of course new, but angel cakes, you can use any of the Caron cotton cakes patterns and they'll work really beautifully as well. So if you're making for yourself, like I found, I really wanted a solid. I was so happy that the solids were released because sometimes like striping is great. Sometimes I want that sort of subtle interest for a garment, especially when I've made for other people who may be pickier about their color choices.
Absolutely. And it's a great range too. There's some here that are definitely like this mauve glow, I think is absolutely beautiful. Like I say, this would be beautiful on, things for little girls, but there's a great range here. I know my guys would love this. This is really beautiful. And of course the good old faded jeans. Who doesn't love the color of faded jeans? So yeah, I love the range here. I feel like as I look through these, I can kind of see the people in my family, the people I care about, like, oh, this would be, perfect for this person. I've got a brand new niece who this is clearly calling out for. So it's a lot of fun to kind of give these different colorways a look and a feel and think about, what they're calling for you, what they want to be in your hands and who they want to be perfect for. I keep coming back to this yellowy color of the Caron Cotton Cakes, the Sunflowers colorway. And it's just so intriguing. There's something about this one that I keep returning to visually. It's so funny because this isn't normally a colorway that I would pick out for myself, but I really love just the different subtle tones in there. And I think this would be really beautiful in one of those bags in particular.
Mm-hmm. I found that as well. Like I wouldn't normally pick up coral, but I just found, I think it's something about because of the tone on tone effect with the dye and the fact that it's a matte finish, like it just makes it more appealing. I don't know. You like instantly go for it.
Absolutely. And I'm trying to look at it. It looks like the Caron Cotton Cakes and the Cotton Angel Cakes are both really kind of a really, really tight spin. Whereas the Cotton Baby Cakes have it's a little bit, I don't want to say not looser plied, but it's not quite the same type of ply. I'm not an expert on the different types of plies. For instance, I just know this one's a lot, fuzzier. And then this one you can see is a little bit smoother. Maybe if I pull it back, we get a little bit more light on there, a little easier to see. But I'm wondering, Seema, do you know anything? Do you know more about like how that difference in construction comes out? This one's just it's almost more of a rounder, smoother sort of feeling.
I am blanking on the official term.
Yeah, I am too. So I was like, Seema.
It is definitely, the cotton cakes is definitely a lot more tightly spun for sure than I'd say the baby cakes is a lot more like our usual worsted yarns. Like, sorry, I just like felt it's a very soft, baby cakes is really soft. I've never made any. I was like, what? That was a bit surprising. I didn't realize. The ripple cakes, as I was mentioning, it's a slub texture. So now that I've opened the cake, you can kind of, let's see if we can get it to focus, maybe.
Sometimes if you put your hand right behind the strand, it'll...
Oh, right. To make it trick,
there we
right?
go.
So you can see these little blips on it. So it's really subtle, but it does show up as you knit it. which is really cool. And I did start swatching here with 2 strands together, one of cotton ripple cakes and one of angel cakes that seem to coordinate. I don't know how I would use this, but like the colors coordinate so well together that you can't really see on camera
Oh, funny.
what's happening. But it is, you know, they do work together if you want to give it a go, for sure.
Yeah, it would be interesting to create that depth of color. Absolutely. So yeah, let's see here. Yeah, there's that baby cake again. And it really is so soft. I wish you guys could feel this one. I always say I wish we had like feel-o-vision for yarns, because it's you know, it's great to show them and everything, but you want to be like, it feels really, really good. You can see, here's that baby cake again. You can see some squish here. See, it is really soft and really squishy. It's got a great feel to it. And this one is wool-free too. I want to point out, I think they're all wool-free, but
Yeah.
for baby items in particular, I know most people tend to stay away from wool, not just because it's difficult to care for, but, you know, it can just be that little bit irritating to baby skin. But this is just a really, really soft baby one. And all of these are really, really soft. And give them some squishes here. You can see the squish in that one. And then that was the cotton cakes. And then the ripple cake, it's got a little bit more weight to it, like cotton sometimes does, but it is just soft as can be. Beautiful, beautiful to the touch.
And I'd say that it would be fun to do, like if you had the ripple cakes in the solid and then the ripple cakes, the striping, you could, if you wanted to hold 2 together to get like a really cool marled effect. So you'll have the solid carrying it the whole way through, and then that stripe will just add, you know, that layer of dimension. I've been seeing it all over social media. People love that marled effect, even if you can get the yarn like it. Sometimes you just want to play designer too and make it your own. So definitely a possibility.
Absolutely. That's kind of the point, right? We gotta make it your own. When you make
I
something,
know.
make it your own. Like you've seen all these examples and all these beautiful colors, and I've got to admit, this mauve glow and this chevron tote is absolutely stunning. But it would be so fun to mix it up. I mean, go ahead and pull up one of the other ones. It's a tote bag. Make it in a different one. It'll be a little bigger, but it'll still be beautiful. And, you know, who doesn't need a bigger tote once in a while? Although this one is pretty big. But I just think these are going to be so much fun to play with. And each colorway is going to give you a really, really different look.
Love it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you can even maybe put 2 colorways together in the stripes. That would be really fun as well.
Absolutely.
And the cotton cakes. Really fun. So this is the green grapevine again.
Very pretty.
So
It's got
pretty.
Teal and the mint green, the light green. So nice. Really, really soft. And they are heavy. There's a lot of yarn in them.
Absolutely.
And then
Absolutely.
the blueberry again.
I think I saw a question earlier about the colors and whether they're unique every year. And so, yeah, this collection was released specifically for this summer. So if you want the color, I would get on it now because it doesn't necessarily come back the following year. Like, for example, the shawl I was wearing earlier was Sunset Streams or something from last year. And I did see some left on michaels.com, but like here in Canada where I am, I don't have that color anymore. So I'm kind of, you know, it does fuel that need to, if you want the color, get the color before, you know, summer's over for sure.
Absolutely. And I mean, you know, having a stash of Caron cakes is the thing to do from what I've seen on social media. So you can definitely stock up on this year's colors and add them to your collection. You know, create your own yarn wall of beautiful cakes, because I mean, this is just going to be inspiring just when you've got those colors right there, you know, looking at you, just waiting to be worked up. And once you get your hands on these, I just know you're going to love them. They're so great and so much fun.
Yeah, and I wanted to mention, I mean, we have already, but there are more patterns than what we've shown here. So definitely check out those links. Like if, you know, you're still looking for more shawls or more garments, whatever, go check out the patterns because there's a lot of ideas out there. And colorway is just another word. I see someone has asked, what does colorway mean? It's just another word for shade. Sometimes we don't say shade, sometimes we say colorway because there's multiple shades within a cake of yarn or skein of yarn. There might be another reason why we say colorway, but that's why I say it anyway.
I think it's just one of those like knit and crochet things. I don't know. You just kind of pick up on it and realize everybody else is calling them colorways, so you do too. But yeah, I guess it must be because there can be multiple colors inside. So you don't want to say this is a color, but the colorway would be mauve glow.
Yeah.
One of those little terms.
Yeah, I'd like to know what everyone's planning to make with these. I have seen some comments, but definitely let us know in the chat which one you're most excited about.
Absolutely.
Saw a great comment here that after 45 years of stitching, the double crochet spike stitch is new to them. So they can't wait to try and learn it.
Awesome. Awesome. That's one of my favorite things. I always say that's one of my favorite things about crochet is there's always some place new to stick that hook. You know, once you've got the yarn on there, you can stick the hook somewhere new, add another yarn over. There's always really almost a new stitch to be invented. So part of the adventure of it, right? You can take kind of like the yarns, take a different yarn, use the same pattern, you're going to make a whole different project. So yeah, absolutely so fun. I'm so glad they discovered a new stitch.
Yeah, I was just going to say that the colors, just thinking about firstly, the stitches. Every time we write a pattern, I feel like there's something new that you learn as you write the pattern. So I can only imagine crocheting for that long. And I'm always excited to hear that people are learning something new. I was thinking about these colors, and I'm not sure if they're on the ball band that I have here, but they do say that they are limited time only. So now you know. Yeah.
Absolutely. Got to collect them all while they're available for sure.
Yeah. And for those wondering about the recording, these this class is being recorded, and it usually goes up on YouTube a couple days after on the Michael's YouTube channel. They have a playlist specifically for these Michael's community classroom sessions.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
So Allie, did we have any other questions that we may have missed that you think we should cover off?
Now, I know we don't have an example on hand, but there has just been some questions about combining angel cakes and cotton cakes in the same project.
We've got one.
Oh, well,
yeah.
I'm just making things up now.
That's okay. That's why we've got the questions. So this shawl here, it's crochet. It's worked on, let's see, you start at this end here, and you're going to be working, it's single crochet and chain one spaces, increasing on one end and decreasing on the other, so that you get this straight edge where you work the decreases and then you work the increases here. So it starts off in this solid, I say solid in quotes because it's obviously got that mottled dye effect, and then it switches into the cotton cakes, which is self-striping. And there are a few rows in here where we've alternated back to the solid angel cakes. So these two work together perfectly. Like you don't need to stress about gauge or yardage. They've got the same yardage, same gauge, so it'll work really well, as you can see here.
That is so pretty. I just love those colors. It's such a comforting looking shawl, you know, those colorways together. We're using the word colorways again, but it really makes me want to just wrap up in it. And it just, I don't know, it reminds me of like a really pleasant afternoon, you know, it just looks so charming and welcoming, really.
Yeah.
It's absolutely lovely. So I know we've got a lot of questions about what's in store. I know they're on their way. Allie, did you want to cover that again? I keep seeing questions pop up.
Yes. So Caron cotton cakes, ripple cakes, and baby cakes, if they're not in your local store, they should be very soon. You can shop most of them online right now, and I will drop the link in the chat again so you can start picking out your colors or purchase them online. And if they're not in your local store yet, it should be very soon. We have seen a couple of questions in here too about anniversary cakes. And I know you all loved your anniversary cakes, those big giant, I mean, really like a cake-sized cake.
Yeah.
They're
Yes.
so funny. Just absolutely a cake-sized cake. So we know that you really love them and that they are unfortunately mostly out of stock at this point in your local stores. Caron Chunky Cakes is a great alternative. You would just have to buy more. It's the same weight though, so you can use those in the meantime. But stay tuned. So we don't want to let you down, but stay tuned. So we know that you guys all love them, and we've seen in many of our classes that you're asking for them, and that there's none left in your local stores. So we definitely we hear you on that front, and we hope to be able to get those. Just stay tuned. Stay tuned. But as far as all of these yarns that we've been showing today, they should be in your local stores very soon. And I'll be dropping the link in chat here in just a moment, where you can see all of the Caron Cake Shop, especially these new yarns, and really start making your list, making your cart online. I know we all love to make our carts online.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Get those on there. And then Allie, did you have, were you going to wrap up the giveaway while we're live, or how will they find out who's won?
So I did send private messages to our 3 winners.
Okay.
They are Mindy, Linda B, and Jean. So thank you all so much for joining us today. I mean, and obviously, I think today has been one of the most active chats that I've seen in a class in a long time. So we've all really been just so active. And so, I mean, I know I go to Michael's and buy tons of cotton cakes too. We're all guilty. So it's that time of year. Like, you really do. If you see a color that you like, you got to go get it as soon as you know it's in store.
Yes. And you're going to need 2.
Yeah.
Because you just always need 2.
At least 2. I have found. And then you'll always find, a couple years later, you might find some hidden in your stash. At least I did recently.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to all the winners. How exciting.
Congrats. And thank you everyone for joining. It's so nice that everyone's spending their time with us. If you can't make to the store, it's a really great chance to play with the yarn, and definitely sign up for those classes that Tamara and Carolyn and others will be teaching, because it'll be a great opportunity to walk you through the patterns if you're unfamiliar with them.
Absolutely. There's going to be some beautiful stitches in these classes. I'm absolutely sure of it. So hopefully that tote will get one too.
Sounds like we need one. Yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everybody. And as mentioned earlier, and just as mentioned here, don't forget to sign up for more Michael's community classrooms. We have a bunch of great classes over the next 2 months, featuring a lot of the patterns that you saw today, as well as some other patterns. So I'm dropping the link here in the chat. I'm assuming because you're all here, you know how to get to michaels.com/online classes, but we definitely always look forward to seeing both new faces and returning faces to our classes. So thank you all so much for tonight.
Well, thank you to Michaels, and thanks you, Yarn Inspirations, and thanks everybody. It was a lot of fun talking about all these beautiful yarns.
Likewise.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us today.
Have a good rest.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.